There's a certain satisfaction, isn't there? Walking into a space where everything just feels
Right.
intentional.
Absolutely. That sense of harmony, comfort, maybe a little sophistication, it just resonates.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're someone who notices those things, who appreciates how good design can, make everyday life better, well, you're definitely in the right place today.
Mhm.
We're going to do a deep dive into a room that's so central to our lives, but honestly, its design often gets overlooked. We're talking about the dining room.
It's funny, isn't it? We spend so much time thinking about, say, living rooms or kitchens,
Right.
and the dining room can sometimes feel like a bit of an afterthought. But when you stop and consider everything that happens there,
Oh, totally. Simple meals, big celebrations.
exactly, from the everyday ritual to those huge milestones, it's really a vital stage for our lives.
It really is. And a thoughtfully designed dining room, it's more than just looking good. It has this power, I think, to actually shape how we interact, how we connect.
It influences things.
Yeah, and even our own sort of personal rituals. It's where, eating meets intentional design.
Perfectly put. And that's our mission today, really, to explore how to craft a dining space that works on both levels. It needs to be functional, obviously a hub for gathering,
Sure.
but also a kind of sanctuary, a curated space that really reflects who you are. We want to look at layering textures, materials, those designer elements.
Okay, let's really dig into this then. If we're aiming for that kind of transformative space, where do we start? What's the first step?
Well, the foundation is absolutely key. You have to think about the structure itself, how light plays in the room, the flow,
The bones of it.
right? And right at the heart of that foundation, it's the dining table. It really is the anchor, the soul of the space, you could say.
It sets the tone completely. And
Yeah.
the choices, wow, it can be a bet, can it? You might love that warmth of natural wood, maybe something with a matte finish that feels really nice to touch.
Yeah, very tactile.
Or you could go bolder, maybe a dramatic stone table. Some have these incredible sculptural legs now.
Mm-hmm. Or the classic, smooth white marble. Always elegant.
Brings a totally different vibe.
And each material really does shift the room's whole atmosphere. Natural wood often feels, organic, approachable.
Grounded.
Stone gives that feeling of permanence, maybe a bit of drama. And marble, well, it's cool, sleek, often feels a bit more formal, sophisticated.
And you have to think about how they feel too, right? Not just how they look.
Exactly. The tactile quality, the sort of psychological cues they send, and then there's the shape.
Right. Shape. I always feel like oval or round tables, they just encourage conversation, that sense of closeness. Everyone's kind of in it together.
They do foster intimacy.
But a big rectangular table that brings a certain rhythm, a clarity maybe.
It definitely dictates the dynamics.
Yeah.
Rounder shapes, like you said, easier eye contact, more egalitarian feel. Great for lively chats.
Yeah.
Rectangular tables can give a bit more personal space, maybe better for more formal settings or just bigger groups where you need that defined seating.
Okay, so we've got our anchor, the table. What's next? How do we build around it?
Designer seating, absolutely essential. And these aren't just, chairs for eating.
Right, not just functional.
No, they should be pieces that make you want to linger, that invite guests to settle in, enjoy the conversation long after the plates are cleared.
Totally. It's about that intentional form, isn't it? Like a beautiful curve in the wood back that looks good and feels good to lean against.
Ergonomic, yeah.
Or maybe upholstery in a really tactile fabric, like a soft velvet you just want to touch.
Mm-hmm. And mixing materials in the chairs adds so much depth. Think about warm walnut with airy woven cane,
Oh, nice contrast.
or maybe soft linen against smooth leather details. It stops the room feeling too samey, too one note.
Okay, table, check. Chairs that make you want to stay, check. What about the walls? Bare walls can feel a bit unfinished, can't they?
They really can. And walls are such a fantastic opportunity to layer in texture, visual interest, even emotion. Think beyond just paint.
Okay.
What about a textured plaster, like Venetian plaster? Maybe in a soft, earthy tone. It's subtle, but adds so much.
That feels very artisanal.
Or, for something different, vertical wooden slats. They create this great rhythm, this visual interest.
Ooh, I like that idea. Adds movement without being overwhelming. And then, of course, art. Big impact there.
Huge. An oversized abstract canvas can be a powerful focal point, sets a modern mood instantly.
Or something calmer.
Sure, a set of framed botanical prints. Brings that feeling of nature inside, adds serenity. Art adds rhythm, emotion. It tells part of the story.
Absolutely. And we cannot talk about dining rooms without talking about lighting. The light fixture, It's like the jewelry of the room, isn't it?
That's a perfect analogy. If the table's the heart, the light fixture is the crown. It's a major design statement opportunity.
Yeah.
Imagine a chandelier, maybe burnished gold, sculptural arms. The shadows it casts can be amazing.
Or something softer.
Maybe a woven pendant.
Yeah.
Natural fiber gives that lovely artisanal feel, diffuses the light beautifully, creates real ambiance.
Right, it's doing more than just lighting the space. It elevates the whole look, draws your eye up, adds dimension.
Yeah.
Now, something we see a lot more of is that desire to connect indoors and outdoors. How does that play out in the dining room?
Well, floor-to-ceiling glass doors, especially with nice wooden frames, are transformative.
Oh, yeah.
They flood the room with natural light, which is always uplifting, and they create this direct visual link to the outside.
And if you're lucky enough to have a garden right there, wow. It's like the room just keeps going.
It becomes an extension, exactly. You get that beautiful filtered light through the leaves, dappled shadows. It brings warmth, life.
Makes the room feel alive.
It really blurs the lines between inside and out, fosters openness, connects you to nature.
Okay, foundations are set, lighting's creating mood, we've connected to the outdoors. Now for the fun stuff, the personality, the decor.
This is where it becomes truly yours. A bare table can feel a bit cold. Right.
Personal, yeah.
So dressing it with intention is key. Even a simple, natural linen runner adds texture, softness.
And maybe a beautiful ceramic vase with just a few branches or some wildflowers, that organic touch.
That vital organic element, yes. And think about the smaller things too. A stack of cookbooks hints at a love for food, for sharing meals.
Little stories.
Exactly. A stone fruit bowl feels grounding, looks beautiful. Handmade pottery speaks of craft, tradition. These small things tell your story.
And what about the space around the table? Consoles, buffets. They're practical, but also part of the look, right?
Absolutely. They're workhorses, providing storage, but also key style elements. Placed against a wall, they offer surfaces for layering.
More layering opportunities.
Yes. Imagine a wood sideboard with some hand-glazed pottery, maybe pillar candles, a modern lamp, artisanal glassware.
And the wall above, prime reason.
Definitely. A large framed mirror, maybe aged brass. Bounces light around, makes the space feel bigger.
Always good.
Or you could do an asymmetrical art arrangement. Adds a bit of surprise, makes people curious.
No, something I think people often forget, but it makes such a difference. The rug.
Oh, absolutely crucial. A good rug anchors the dining area, defines it, especially in an open plan.
And it helps with sound too, right? Dining rooms can get noisy.
Hugely important. It dampens sound, makes conversation feel more intimate. Flat woven wool or jute are great choices. Warmth, texture.
Practicality though. Spills happen.
True. But there are amazing high-performance fibers now. Easy to clean, but they still look and feel great. You don't have to compromise.
Good to know. And speaking of adding life, greenery. We have to talk about plants.
Essential. For injecting life, vibrancy. Think tall potted plants in simple matte ceramic pots.
Elegant.
Or a little herb garden on a countertop.
Ooh.
Or vines cascading from a shelf.
Love that.
It just blurs those indoor-outdoor lines again. Adds texture, shape, movement. Yeah. Makes the room feel instantly more welcoming, more alive.
It really does, that dynamic element. Okay, so we're pulling all these pieces together, table, chairs, walls, lights, decor, plants. How do we make it feel cohesive, but still interesting? Not boring.
The art of juxtaposition, it's key. Playing with contrasts.
Okay, explain that.
It's about mixing finishes and materials intentionally. Like polished concrete floor maybe, paired with a warm natural wood table.
Hard and soft.
Exactly. Or a textured plaster wall as a backdrop for smooth, sleek ceramics. Or matte metals against raw, nubby textiles.
So not everything should match perfectly.
No, that contrast creates richness. It feels more considered, more complete than if everything was, the same finish. It creates a kind of tension that's really appealing.
Interesting. And what about those awkward corners? We all have them. What do we do with those?
Treat them intentionally. Don't let them become dead space. Maybe a cozy reading nook, built-in bench, cushions, a throw.
Oh, lovely.
Or a single really beautiful sculptural chair with a stack of design books next to it. Even a tall woven basket for extra linens looks stylish and is useful.
So every corner contributes to the room's story.
Every corner has purpose.
Yeah.
It adds to the overall feeling.
Okay, let's tackle color. Can feel overwhelming. Where do you start with the dining room palette?
I always suggest starting with a calm, neutral foundation. Soft taupes, creamy whites, warm grays.
For the walls, maybe? Or bigger furniture?
Exactly. They provide continuity, let other elements be the stars. Then you bring in impactful accents.
Okay. Like what?
Imagine rich sapphire blue velvet on the dining chairs. That's a statement.
Wow, yeah.
Or the gleam of that burnished gold chandelier we mentioned. Or smaller touches emerald green upholstery on a stool. Deep terracotta ceramics on a shelf.
So it's about being strategic, not splashing color everywhere.
Use it sparingly, intentionally. It adds depth without overwhelming the calm base. It really elevates the whole design.
It makes sense. And often dining rooms aren't isolated, right? They flow into kitchens, living rooms. How do you keep things harmonious in open layouts?
That connection is vital. You want distinct zones, but they need to feel related, part of a cohesive whole.
So how do you achieve that?
Repeating materials is the great way. Maybe the wood for your kitchen cabinets is echoed in the dining table or chair legs.
Ah, creating a link.
Or the stone from your countertop appears perhaps as a detail on the sideboard. It creates visual unity.
But you still want the dining area to feel like its own space.
Right, so you can use subtle shifts, maybe a slightly warmer tone of the same wood, or a different texture in the upholstery. Little variations that define the zones while keeping that overall flow.
I've also noticed more furniture that does double duty lately.
Multifunctional furniture. Yes, it's perfect for modern life, especially in smaller spaces. Designers are getting so clever.
It's like tables with storage.
Exactly. Tables with hidden drawers, benches with storage compartments inside. They merge form and function beautifully, maximizes space without sacrificing style.
Very practical. Now, ceiling height, that affects the feel too, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
High ceilings. You can really emphasize that verticality. Draw the eye up.
Oh.
Tall built-ins, statement chandeliers with a strong vertical line, oversized art. It enhances that feeling of spaciousness, grandeur.
Makes the room feel expansive. And if you have lower ceilings?
Different approach. You want to spread the light horizontally, avoid fixtures that hang too low, and make it feel cramped.
Right.
Emphasize the horizontal lines, long, low consoles, panoramic art, extended shelving. It helps create a sense of width.
Okay, we've talked a lot about visuals, but what about the other senses? Sound, for instance. Acoustics in a dining room seem pretty important for conversation.
Hugely important, often overlooked. A room that's too echoey isn't comfortable for gatherings.
So how do you manage that?
Layering textiles is your best friend. Rugs, drapery, upholstery, even tablecloths and napkins, they all absorb sound.
Creates a softer, more intimate feel.
Exactly. It makes conversation easier, more pleasant. Even wall panels or canvas art can help absorb sound. It's about creating a comfortable acoustic environment.
It really shows how everything works together. So when someone walks into this perfectly designed dining room, what's the ultimate feeling you want them to have?
Ideally, a sense of warmth, welcome, maybe a little drama, or just a feeling of escaping the everyday. It's that emotional resonance that makes a space truly special.
And that feeling, it's not just about expensive things, is it? It's more about the thought behind it all.
Absolutely. It's in how the light filters through the curtains you chose, how the chairs are grouped for conversation, even the subtle scent of fresh herbs on the table. It's the unspoken story the room tells.
So design is really about creating a feeling.
Fundamentally, yes. And a dining room designed with that intention becomes a really powerful, resonant part of your home.
A place for meals, but also memories, connection, beauty you can feel.
Precisely. It goes beyond just the visual.
Okay, we've covered the big picture. Let's zoom in again, really get into those finer sensory details that take it from good to great.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Let's start with sight again, but deeper. Think about visual rhythm. How does your eye move through the room? Is there a clear focal point?
Like that statement light or a big piece of art.
Exactly. What grabs you first?
Yeah.
And then where does your eye go next? The texture of the table, the lines of the chairs, the way light hits an object. It's about curating that visual journey.
Choreographing the experience. And light. We talked about fixtures, but natural light itself is huge.
Transformative. And how you manage it is key. Sheer linen curtains diffuse strong light. Make it soft, inviting.
And if you have a view,
leverage it. Make the garden, the patio, even a city view part of the room's story. Don't block it, frame it.
And when daylight fades, artificial light needs layers, right? Not just one bright overhead.
Definitely. Layers create mood, depth, dimmable overhead for overall control. Then add pools of warmer light table lamps, wall sconces, maybe some indirect light highlighting features. Avoid harsh, single-source glare.
Creating that warm, inviting glow. Okay, beyond sight, touch. How important is that tactile dimension?
Incredibly important, even if it's subconscious. Running your hand over smooth wood, feeling the texture of a ceramic bowl, it connects you to the space physically.
So mix textures deliberately.
Yes. Cool marble, rough linen, soft wool, brushwood, polished brass, matte ceramic. That contrast engages the senses more deeply than just looking.
It adds richness. And even storage can be part of this sensory thing.
Absolutely. Beautiful built-ins or a vintage sideboard aren't just practical. The feel of stacked plates, folded napkins, it contributes to the overall pleasure if it's done well. Elevates the functional.
And scent. You mentioned it briefly. How do you use scent subtly?
Subtle is key. Natural fragrances work best. Beeswax candles, a diffuser with essential oils, maybe fresh herbs like rosemary or mint, just enough to add comfort, not overwhelm.
Another layer to the atmosphere. And sound again beyond textiles. What else influences the room's acoustics?
The room's shape, the materials used for walls and floors. Hard surfaces create more echo. So balancing those with softer elements is crucial for a comfortable soundscape where conversation flows easily. Canvas art helps too.
It's amazing how all these senses intertwine. Even the floor contributes.
Absolutely. Wood, stone, tile, they set a foundational tone, visually and texturally. Then rugs layer on top, defining the area, adding warmth, maybe that organic luxury of jute or wool underfoot.
You mentioned juxtaposition earlier, those moments of surprise. Can we revisit that? It seems really key for personality.
It really is. It stops things feeling too predictable.
Yeah.
Maybe pairing a really old rustic chair with sleek modern ones.
Oh, interesting.
Or placing a bold sculptural object in an otherwise minimalist space. Those little moments catch your eye, make you appreciate the thought behind it. Adds character.
And this beautifully designed room, it's not meant to be frozen in time, right? It should evolve.
Definitely not static. Good design allows for evolution. Think seasonally changed tableware, greenery, maybe textiles. Lighter in summer, richer in winter. It keeps the space feeling alive, connected to life's rhythms.
And reflects how we use our homes now, often for multiple things. The dining room might be an office too.
Exactly. So flexibility is key. Chairs need to be comfortable for longer periods. Lighting needs to be adaptable task lighting, then ambient. Maybe tables with softer edges feel more versatile.
The design needs to support different activities, and often it's the tiny details that pull it all together, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The napkin rings, the glassware, a beautiful salt cellar. Those small, considered choices create cohesion. They signal care. That's often where a dining room is truly made.
That curated feel. So when guests come into this space, what's the goal? What should they feel?
Welcomed, at ease. Surrounded by beauty, yes, but also care. It's not about showing off, it's about thoughtfulness, intention.
Creating an experience where they feel looked after. And personally, it's a chance to put your own story into the room, right?
The best part, weave in things you love. That bowl from your travels, a family sideboard, art that speaks to you, that's what gives a space soul, makes it enduring.
Turns it from just a room into your room. And with trends always changing, how do you aim for timelessness?
Focus on the fundamentals. Quality natural materials, light, texture in your personal story. Those endure beyond fleeting trends. Create a foundation that can adapt as your life changes.
Invest in things that resonate deeply. Now, quickly, for those with smaller spaces, any key strategies?
Smaller spaces can spark creativity. Go vertical with storage and display. Use slender, expandable tables. Nesting chairs save floor space. Mirrors are your friend. Bounce light, create depth. Flexible, modular pieces work wonders. You can still achieve great design, even lushness.
Be smart. Be strategic. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main thing you want listeners to take away about creating an amazing dining room?
That it's so much more than just a place to eat. It's where life's rituals unfold. It's a sanctuary, a hub for connection, a space for reflection, for celebration. When you design it with that understanding, it becomes one of the most powerful rooms in your home.
So it's not just about the stuff, it's about the feeling you create.
Exactly.
If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Interior Blockchain Studio for more expert design ideas, trends, and creative inspiration. Your support helps us bring you even more amazing content, so make sure to turn on notifications and stay updated with our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.